Alrighty, pull our taxi light on. And so with no control tower here, we just kind of self-announce, let everyone know where we're at and what we're going to do. If there was, I mean, there's never anyone else flying out of here, but just in case there was. Belleville, driver Sky 3 Yankee, taxi, fuel pumps to runway 15, Belleville.
Mars F traffic, I'm planes turning on right base runway 36, got everything in the air below 5,000, I'm coming to Mars average, do not overfly.
That's half the trouble with flying is getting comfortable with all the wires and everything around you. Belleville, traffic Sky 153 Yankee, back taxi runway 15, Belleville. So on the ground, taxiing with your feet, you know, you want to go to the right, just press with the right, press on the left. And at the top of the pedals, move my feet up, I got brakes, left and right wheel. So I can actually turn a lot tighter, you know, using the brakes, or use both and we'll slow down just straight ahead. Kind of pull back as we're taxiing, take some weight off the nose wheel, you know, taxiing over all the bumps and everything. Once we get going in the air, it'll be a little cooler. You'll get some airflow through your vent there. It's a real fancy air conditioning system of, there's a hole in the wing, air blows through it and comes right out.
Nice.
Same thing on the Piper that your dad had. Alrighty. Normally we would go ahead and call Willow Run Tower, you know, before. This time we'll just call Belleville, let them know that we're departing, or make the general announcement, and then we'll switch over to Willow Run and get released for that TFR that we got going on. Beforehand, we just run up the engine about half power, check our magnetos. Both look good, nice and smooth. Little RPM drop because we have 2 spark plugs per cylinder, and we're checking the left one, then checking the right one. Both of them look great. Carb heat works. Oil pressure's good, oil temperature's good. Belleville, traffic Sky 153 Yankee, departing runway 15, Belleville. Nobody else is out there, switch over. Hello, Tower Sky 153 Yankee.
F3 Yankee, were you ready to go now?
Affirmative, 153 Yankee on the ground Belleville. Request depart runway 15, straight southbound, then we'll make a turn to the west once we're clear TFR.
3 Yankee, stand by.
Our flaps set for takeoff. We use 10 degrees of flaps out of a shorter field, helps us take off sooner.
3 Yankee, proceed southbound. We'll run wind 100, niner gust 13, altimeter 3007.
3007, proceed southbound, 3 Yankee. Rev up the engine, release the brakes. Full power. Release forward, flying in ground effect till we hit our takeoff safety speed, climb on out. Once we got good altitude and good airspeed, we'll retract our flaps. Be a little less drag, we can climb out faster. definitely a little bumpier now than this morning.
Oh yeah. Brighton traffic, Bonanza 09 Delta, turning final, runway 04 Brighton. Clouds make it choppy?
Basically, well, we look at the clouds and we know it's going to be bumpy because there are clouds. But what actually makes the bumps is the ground gets hot, forms convective currents, so they start rising, and that's what forms the clouds. And so, it's more so bumpy just because it's sunny. See about getting our GPS set up here. Three Yankee request for exchange Ann Arbor. Skyhawk 3 Yankee request frequency change.
3 Yankee for exchange approved.
Frequency change approved, talking to bid 3 Yankee. And just heads up, 3 Yankee, we're going to come back in about 45 minutes. My understanding that TFR will be at 3 miles until about 3 p.m.
Affirmative.
3 Yankee, roger, thank you. Alright. 0.3. Ann Arbor Tower, Skyhawk 153 Yankee, 7 miles southeast, request transit your Delta westbound.
Former 3 Yankee, Ann Arbor Tower, transition through Class Delta space approved south of the field, Ann Arbor altimeter 3007.
3007, transition approved, south of the field, 3 Yankee. And so that gives us clearance to travel through their airspace. Ann Arbor Airport, that little round circle there in the middle is the runway, and we're just south of there, and we'll clip that ring, just the very bottom of it.
Alright.
So did you get any motion sickness samples before coming out here?
Nope. Only time I ever had trouble with motion sickness is in the boat.
Oh yeah? Small boat or on like a cruise ship?
Small boat.
Okay.
Small boat on Lake Erie with choppy seas.
Yeah.
There's airspeed here saying
Ann Arbor Tower, Mooney, 435.
About 85 or so.
at 85 miles per hour.
85 miles per hour through the air, and it's indicated airspeed. So indicated airspeed is always lower than true airspeed. Our true airspeed, I would guess, based on the altimeter setting and based on the temperature and the altitude, are the three things that affect it. Basically how thick the air is.
Were you remaining in the pattern?
True airspeed is probably somewhere around 100 miles per hour.
Unit for my pre-fall stop.
Once we level off, we'll level off about,
runway 6.
we'll level here at 2,500.
And clear to land runway.
And then once we're clear Detroit's airspace, we'll climb back up to about 3,500 out to Grass Lake. So we'll speed up as we level.
334, I have traffic northeast of the field, approximately 8 miles northeast of the field.
Yeah, what our ground speed is.
Southbound to enter an extended final.
Doing 91 over the ground.
Enter on final, 334.
So to me that means 91, that's about 105 or so over the ground. Sometimes, you might be doing only 50 over the ground because you got such a strong headwind. And then you could be doing, 150 on the way back. We'll get this set here on a 300 heading. I'm going to go ahead and have you reach forward. You can take the flight controls. Basically, we want to maintain somewhere around 2005, 2600, and we'll want to maintain this 300 heading. Yep, so just a little turn to the left there. Perfect. We'll roll wings level. And how I know when we're level is I just look out this instrument panel and use it kind of as my gauge against the horizon. We have an indication there. It shows us that we're descending at about 100 feet a minute. So we could pull back just a hair.
A little too much.
Yep, that's okay. Takes little tiny corrections. It's a lot like driving a boat where you have to kind of think ahead. You know, at higher speed it's very sensitive. At lower speeds, you got to kind of plan ahead and a little to the left. And we just hold that. We'll put the control yoke neutral. It'll hold that bank. And we'll turn. We're rolling over to 300. Once we hit it,
variable at 5.
we'll slowly roll back. Wings level.
5 Delta Bravo, cleared land on 6.
And then just using this instrument panel as our gauge. If we're level or if we're turning. And we can also kind of pick a point, on the cowling or on the instrument panel with the horizon, how much horizon we see. Tells us if we're climbing or descending. If we see less, then we're climbing. If we see more, then we're descending.
Be advised there is traffic 5 miles west of the field, southbound for a modified straight in. Traffic altitude indicates 2,800.
3 Yankee looking. So they'll give us
taxi
traffic calls as well. They've got radar inside the control tower. It's actually right off our right side is the airport.
Westbound, altitude indicates 2,500.
Yep. And so the control tower there is looking at all the aircraft all around.
And Cessna 334, just be advised you will be number 2. Traffic is midfield left downwind.
Proceed right in. We'll be number 2. 334. Looks a lot different from the sky.
Yeah.
Alright, 6 Kilo Charlie, number tower.
Very touchy.
Charlie, stand by.
Yep, just tiny little motions, and it's
traffic now 12 to 1 o'clock and 2 miles, altitude indicates 2,900.
Your Yankee is still negative contact. Is that traffic descending?
For 38 Yankee, suggest you fly 10 degrees to the left.
10 degrees left, 3 Yankee.
Tower 334, we got the Yankee.
We'll turn just a little bit here.
334, roger. And traffic you're following him out of the airport is just turning left base.
Roger that, 334.
For 3 Yankee, traffic has you in sight.
3 Yankee, roger. Got him in sight. Yep. You can go ahead and take back over now.
And Upper Tower, Air 1334 Tango over Whitmore Lake, inbound, would like to do a tour of the city.
So the clouds rise,
34 Tango,
and they'll just keep on rising until they hit, until the cloud is no longer warmer than the air around it. So say it hits some warm air up high, and the clouds, maybe 80, up high it's 82, well, it's not going to rise anymore. If it was colder up high, it would keep rising. So it forms like this temperature inversion, we call it. It's almost like a layer, a boundary layer. And if you were to climb above those clouds, it would be absolutely smooth. You could just let go of the airplane, it would fly straight all day long.
Clear for the option, runway 6, after option, make right traffic, 334.
We'll turn a little bit to the right here and track about a 300 heading. So just up ahead, I don't know if you've ever been to, that's Pleasant Lake.
Yeah, I think I've been there.
Yeah, all the pilots call it Arrow Lake, kind of shaped like an arrow and it points almost directly towards the airport. So whenever you're you're out west and you're wondering where the airport is, you just fly over that.
5 Delta Bravo, roger. Turn left at the end, taxi terminal ramp via Alpha Charlie, this frequency.
5 Delta Bravo, taxi by Alpha, maintain this frequency.
Okay, for 6 Kilo Charlie, are you ready to taxi? And say your position for 6 Kilo Charlie. For 6 Kilo Charlie, roger. Runway 6, taxi via Bravo Alpha, cross runway 12. And then Arbor 10808, altimeter 3007. And for 6 Kilo Charlie, just to confirm, you wanted VFR flight following? Okay, and you were going to, sorry, I had a couple of things going on. I tried to catch it. You were going to November 98, and say your type of aircraft and the altitude again. Number 6 Kilo Charlie, roger, standby. Number 6 Kilo Charlie, could you give me the identifier for your aircraft?
Does look like an arrow quite a bit.
Yep. Feel good? Comfortable?
Yeah. Yeah, my dad used to say this is the easy part.
Oh yeah,
All
you know,
the
just
landings.
cruising along.
Yep.
Yep. Basically, for training, you know, we do straight and level flight, you know, just like this. We'll fly out to like this practice area. You know, there's lots of fields around. We like to practice, you know, where it's not too congested. And climb up high, we do stalls, we do slow flight, we do turns, descents. And basically, we do all these individual maneuvers that all get combined together once you finally get back to the airport to form a landing.
Okay.
Basically, everything you do in flying culminates to landing.
Yeah.
And everyone always likes to say, well, what happens if something goes wrong and you can't land? You'll always land. Just, you gotta kind of figure out how you're gonna land.
Pay attention, pay attention.
It's just a constant scan. Your eyes get tired, you know, working them around constantly. I spend a lot of time looking outside, looking for other airplanes, but always, you know, every couple seconds glancing back in, looking at my heading. I know that if I fly wings level, though, my heading will remain the same. I don't have to worry about it as much. It's not like driving a car for like 8 or 10 hours where you just get in the car and you drive. I mean, you're, after just a few hours, you're scanning, you're moving your head, moving your eyes, and you just get fatigued. You're just mentally exhausted.
And in Arbor.
That's the proving grounds right off our right side.
Going 6.
Number 6 Kilo Charlie.
Start to see, you know, along that tree line, there's the racetrack. And
Drive by it all the time. I'm a car fanatic too, so I love seeing some of the cars come out of the proving grounds.
Oh yeah.
2031 in Arbor ground.
They,
taxi via Alpha cross runway 12.
when I was doing my private pilot training, I was up around here. We got yelled at for flying too low over there, checking out all the cars. You're not allowed to do that. You can't take pictures of this. Well, it's not restricted airspace. It's, you know, we can fly over however we want. It's always neat. There's usually somebody going around the track because they just run the cars 24 hours a day.
Yep.
Hey guys, you know, $15 an hour, just keep driving them in a circle.
When I retire, I think that's what I'd like to do, is be one of their test drivers.
Yeah.
I know that they don't get paid much, but it'd be fun.
It is cool living up here. You know, living in Florida, you would never see any sort of new models or anything like that, but around here you always see like a new, you know, wait, is that a Ford Edge? That's not how it's supposed to look. Oh, that's the newest model year. And
yeah.
then you see the cars with like the zebra print on them, you know, they try to cover up the design. And
just maneuvering altitude indicates 2100.
86 Kilo Charlie, I think I'm looking at him. It looks like he's at 12 o'clock.
6 Kilo Charlie, affirmative. The traffic's maneuvering in the area. Altitude now indicates 2,100.
I pulled into a rest area, the Chelsea rest area, just not too far from the proving grounds.
And November 34 Tango, just be advised, there's traffic just departed the field, northbound altitude.
3 or 4 Jeep Cherokees all came in, Grand Cherokees.
Oh yeah.
But they're all left-hand drives.
400 just over the campus.
So I went over and started talking to the guys. They're all these retiree guys. And they said it's the test cards for England.
Oh, okay.
Or for overseas.
86 Kilo Charlie, thanks.
It was all the latest models, and they weren't covered up at all or anything. Just had little manufacturer's plates on them.
Yeah. They got somebody going around the track now. Like some sort of pickup truck and a sort of car. They're going pretty quick. That's every bit of 60, 70 miles an hour. There's a few going around. The other thing I like about practicing out here with students is that, you know, it would be pretty unlikely and it's almost impossible, but if you ever did have an engine failure, well, you got a great place to land right there. You got all sorts of roads and runways.
Contact departure 118.95, good day.
1895, 86 Kilo Charlie.
34 Tango, traffic no factor.
So how's that work in the wintertime? You pretty much shut down?
We just about move everything over to Ann Arbor, and you know, we can run until about November or so, until the snow starts falling, and then that airport's basically shut down till April.
Yeah.
But flying out of Ann Arbor in the wintertime, no big deal. Even when you get a heavy snow, they're on it right away, clearing the runways, taxiways.
I see what you mean by looking over the dash, too, to kind of...
Yeah, it's almost, I mean, you can look at the instruments and everything, but it's almost easier if you're just looking outside and you find that, you know, the point that's level. A lot of people flying from the left seat tend to think level is actually a little bit of a right bank, and the way the cowling bends down.
Yep.
That's why I always tell them to use, you know, the inside instrument panel. It's nice and flat. You can use the instruments, but there's always like a lag time or a little delay, you know, between that telling you that you're descending. Like first the nose has to drop, then the airplane has to establish a descent, then that'll indicate a descent. So, I mean, if you just look outside and you see the nose drop a little bit, well, you can stop it before you lose more than 5 feet, you know. And fluctuating the altitude out here is really no big deal either. I mean, as long as you stay 1,000 feet above the ground, you know, that's more than enough. And, you know, if you bounce around even, you know, plus or minus a couple hundred feet, it's really no big deal.
That's a 334, clear for the option.
So what are the measurements on that? Is that hundreds of feet?
Yep, each hash is 100 feet, so it says we're climbing at 300 feet a minute now.
Okay.
400 feet a minute. So if we push forward, yep, and you find level, you can see the lag time.
Yeah. Got to get used to making smaller adjustments.
Oh yeah, just lots of little tiny adjustments. When we train people to actually finally come in, you know, after a couple lessons in, you start practicing landings, you know, or approaches and then landings. And I make all of my students just basically grab on, fly close to the ground, and constantly move all these little tiny motions. And the reason is the airplane's not moving at all while you're doing this, but get used to moving your hands, lots of little corrections. And you'll see when we come in and land, when I'm landing, you know, I'm making lots of little tiny corrections constantly.
Holding short of the active for 06, take off, left traffic.
This is Cessna 2031 in Arbor Tower, runway 6, clear for takeoff. Traffic is right base to final.
Roger, understand on right base to final.
Cessna 334, 1 departure, Friday arrival.
Roger that, 334.
Sus 334, if you could square your base, turn to final.
Turning base to final, 334.
Negative, square your base, turn to final, please.
Square my base to final, 334.
What do they check with all the medical?
For medical, it's basically like your annual checkup, your annual physical. You know, it's you know, your ears, eyes. You know, if you have any, they'll look more for someone a little bit older to look at your history. I really have no medical history.
Yeah.
But they'll say, you know, are you on sleeping pills? Well, you got to be off sleeping pills for at least a month. You know, are you on any sort of like heart medication? Things like that. It usually takes anywhere half hour, 45 minutes max. You know, do the eye test, ears, everything, and make sure you're generally healthy.
I've got a clean history. I was just curious.
When you said left traffic, are you
it's
departing out left traffic, or
you know, there's certain things that are kind of silly too. Like if you have diabetes, you can't have medical. Like, I mean, if you have it under control, you can drive a car. Why can't you fly an airplane?
Are you requesting left traffic?
381, no, somebody was new here, so we'll be in right traffic for option.
381, Roger, make right
So
traffic.
do you live on the lake, or?
Air with 34 Tango, done here, heading back to the north.
I live about a mile south of the lake.
Okay. I'm pulling over all these lakes for. I don't know which one is actually Grass Lake, or is that just the name of the city?
No, it's the lake.
Okay.
Around the edges of the lake, there's these reeds that grow, basically like a water grass.
Okay. Yep.
So the story goes is the Indians used to call it Grass Lake because it looked like it was covered with grass.
Okay.
Nowadays, it's not so much covered; it's just around the edges. I couldn't tell you what any of these lakes are that we're going over. Are we close to Grass Lake, though?
It says we're here. I mean, that's 94. That's some sort of beach area, it looks like, or...
Tower, Cutlass 906, 301 Bravo.
Yeah, it says we're almost past Grass Lake on the map, but I'm not sure what the map says Grass Lake is.
It's south of 94, so...
South of 94, okay. Maybe we can make, yeah, a little left turn there to south.
If I had to guess, it's probably...
If you could start your
back
right
that way.
Okay. Yeah, well, just roll into a nice left bank there. Once we're banked, yep, you can neutralize the ailerons, and then just pull back just a hair. Now keep the nose level with the horizon, because when we turn, it tends to drop. We just stay like this till we roll around, and once you're pointed where you want, then you can just slowly roll out.
381 rather.
381's right base this time for 06.
Thank you, sorry about that. Is that 31 Bravo calling inbound from the southwest?
Yeah, Grass Lake is exit 150 off of 94, and it's basically a straight shot south.
We could fly real low and try to read that exit sign. Here's a guy that landed in Belleville, and I was talking to him. He said he got a little turned around, but he was able to find Rossonville Road. I said, oh, how'd you know it was Rossonville Road? He said, well, I read the street sign.
31 Bravo, and Arbor Tower, I hear you.
Come again? And he
He
goes, yeah, just read the street sign.
Coming inbound from the southwest, inbound for landing with hotel.
Roger, you're number 2. You can turn back inbound for the final. Number 2, traffic is a mile final.
Understand you want me to straight in?
That's affirmative for 31 Bravo.
Okay, coming right for straight in, 31 Bravo.
Yeah, if I had to guess, we're heading straight for it.
That one right there?
Yes.
Okay.
See a blue water tower?
Yep. 12 o'clock on the left side of that lake, there's a blue water tower.
That's it.
Okay.
That's Grass Lake.
Number 334, also, you can turn your right base when able now.
Turn right base when able, 334.
And remember 31 Bravo, be advised you will be number 2. Traffic is just turning right base.
So this building you hear, see the bigger building to the right of the lake, a little bit that way of it?
Yep.
I live just a little bit out that way.
Okay. Let's see if we can find your house.
Number 334, clear for the option. You are number 1.
Clear for the option, runway 6, we're number 1, 334.
We should be heading straight for my neighborhood right now.
You call it 31 Bravo, number 2, traffic a mile final, vice traffic in sight.
Number 2, still looking.
Yeah, that's Grass Lake. I cut a little to the right of my neighborhood and kind of.
Yep.
That's it, dead ahead.
Gotcha.
31 Bravo, still negative on that traffic.
31 Bravo, roger. Traffic is now short final, number 2, clear to land, wind 110 at 7.
Clear to land, number 2, 31 Bravo.
Yeah, that building there is the grocery store. And you got the downtown just a little further off, and that's Grass Lake.
Cool.
The whole town.
Yeah. It's nice having a little smaller town. You can get anywhere you need to go in 10, 15 minutes and not stuck in traffic.
Alright, this will be a full stop, 334.
Okay, now the road on the right in that neighborhood, going that way. My house is...
Turn left Alpha 2, no delay, and say parking.
Like if you turned left at the stop sign, my house is the second one over.
Okay.
Roger, proceed northwest T0 Bravo Charlie, this frequency.
Proceed to northwest T0, taxiway Bravo Charlie, remain on this frequency, 334.
You have your cell phone on you?
Yeah, I do.
Text your wife, tell her to come outside. Got the airplane for a minute here. Send a little bit.
So it's a 3-1, clear for the option.
381, go.
What's the 3-1, clear for the option?
Roger, 381, clear for the option.
Bravo, roger, stay parking. 3-1 Bravo, roger, turn left at the end, taxi northeast GC, Alpha, this frequency.
Well, she's not answering, so I don't know. Yeah.
You can try calling her, but it'll be pretty loud.
Let's see. Actually, I'll call the house.
381, right base for 06.
This is 3-1, roger, so clear for the option.
381.
That's my in-laws backing into the driveway right now.
Oh, yeah.
I'll call the home phone. Hello. Look upside. Look outside. Up. We're right above the house right now. I just saw Grandma and Grandpa back into the driveway. Look outside, we're above the house right now. Yeah, we're above the house right now. Look out the window. Go out in the driveway. I'll see you later.
I'm gonna check and see.
Oh, there they are in the backyard.
Oh yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah. We'll start climbing back up here and head on back. I'll reach down here.
Ann Arbor Tower, Cessna 76697 is 15 West 2700 with hotel landing Ann Arbor.
76697 Ann Arbor Tower, enter left base runway 6.
Enter left base for runway 6, Cessna 76697.
Do you have another plane in Ann Arbor? Or?
We have another one that we're releasing from the owner and using it. Went down for maintenance, and I'm not sure if he's gonna, if he actually has the money to do. It basically needs a new engine. New engine's about 20-some thousand.
Left base on
And so I don't know if we're gonna start looking to buy another aircraft of our own and just go that route, or if he's actually gonna put the money into it or what. It was a really good aircraft, but it was just it was an older engine. You know, usually an aircraft will go through in its lifetime. It can go 7 or 8 engines.
Wow.
And the airplane's still fine, but it's something that I didn't want to keep flying it until it got, you know, the maintenance it needed. So established here, and I'll let you go ahead and take back over. We're just going to maintain. I'll dial this around. We hold just on the big E on the east heading. Take us right there.
How long have you lived in Michigan?
I've lived in Michigan now about 3 years. Moved up here, start working with the U of M rowing team. It's been interesting. I lived in Florida my whole life, and now dealing with Michigan winters. It's not exactly something I'm fond of, but I guess they're not going away, so.
I know, you're crazy for moving.
Yeah. But you know what? Summertime is nice, because right now in Florida it's 95 degrees and 98% humidity. And if we were flying right now in Florida, I mean, you'd just be dripping with sweat.
I lived here all my life. I'm still not used to the winters.
Well, I invested in a battery-powered heated jacket this winter.
Nice.
That was a very good investment. I spent a lot of time in Florida. When the lake freezes, I don't work for U of M, and we just started the flight school. So last winter, I was doing a little bit of flight instruction, but very little, and so I took 9 weeks in Florida to get out of here and thaw out.
Yeah, they say you never get used to it, you just learn to tolerate it.
Pretty much.
That's the proving grounds there?
Yep. Ever go to any of the Michigan football games?
Never been.
Never been, really?
Never been.
Oh boy.
Not a big fan of crowds.
Oh, gotcha. No, it's it can be a lot of people packed on top of each other. But and the seats actually, I mean, I know this is a small airplane, but this is pretty much the equivalent of 3 seats at Michigan Stadium.
Yeah.
I'll trim you down just a little bit, and that'll help us descend a little. How the airspace works for Detroit, it's almost like an upside-down wedding cake. It kind of steps out, you know, the further you get away from the airport, the higher it gets.
Okay.
And there's a shelf that comes out towards this area. It's still a ways in front of us, but it's at 3,000 feet. So we'll descend down below 3,000 before we get there. The trim kind of resets the neutral zone, where if you let go of it, where the neutral zone would be. You know, so if I trim way nose down, the airplane will want to descend a lot without touching it. If I trim nose up, it'll want to climb.
Yeah, this plane's a modern marvel compared to the ones that they use when we fly in fishing up in Canada.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, those things are crazy.
They got an airspeed indicator, a tachometer, and that's all you need.
And
maybe an altimeter.
They take off and the guy's like cranking wheels and hitting the trim. Those guys are something else though. Man, they can take you off and land you like nobody's business.
Oh yeah. No, the distances they do it in is crazy. I mean, stuff that I would never want to try.
Oh yeah.
You can take off this lake. It's a pond, not even a lake. Oh yeah, it's plenty. They'll take off as soon as the pond ends. You know, they're in the air, but they're still flying 5 feet above the ground until they accelerate fast enough. Kind of like what we did coming out of Belleville. You know, I took off, but then I kept it close to the ground until we were fast enough to climb away. And the reason is the tires running on the grass is a lot of drag, and so we can fly up into ground effect. Normally on a runway, you know, we'll roll down the runway and then pull, you know, just climb right away, you know, right off the bat. But there's really no drag rolling on asphalt. Go ahead and reduce power a little bit, and that'll kind of help us descend too.
The place we usually go fishing is a 3,000-acre lake with 1 cabin on it.
Oh, okay.
A couple little islands in the middle. Fly us in, drop us off, and then they come back like 4 days later.
Yeah, no, it's pretty neat doing that sort of stuff. So are you in a rush to get back?
Not really.
No. I figure what we'll do, you know, we'll probably fly over Michigan Stadium, see that, and then we've got plenty of fuel to make it back to Belleville, but my concern is if for some reason they don't let us in right away, you know, we have to circle for a few minutes.
Yep.
I figure what we'll do is we'll land at Ann Arbor, the airport's just in front of us, we'll put a little fuel in the plane, and we flew a little further than I was planning on it, so we got plenty, but I like to always land with at least 30 minutes worth in the tanks. You know, and we'd probably land with 20 minutes worth, which is plenty, but I like to have a little more, just in case. You know, sometimes, like they actually shut down the runway earlier at Ann Arbor because somebody hit a bird, and the dead bird was laying on the runway, so they shut it down for like 15 minutes. So they could get somebody out there to go pick it up and clean it all up, but Yeah, so if you don't have a problem with it, we'll just aim for Ann Arbor Airport. I'm going to give them a call here. We'll make a landing there, grab some fuel, and take back off, fly over the stadium.
Runway 6, and wind 160 at 7.
But you can release a little bit of back pressure, let it... Oh, you know what? Here, I'll give you a little trim that'll help you.
Taxi to non-visities.
Kind of keep on descending down. We'll want to go down to 1,800 feet. So we're at 3,200, so another 1,400 feet down.
Miles to the west, inbound for landing with hotel.
Archer 1113 uniform, Ann Arbor Tower, enter left base runway 6.
Base for runway 6, 13 uniform.
Ann Arbor Tower, Skyhawk 153 Yankee, 2 miles north of Pleasant Lake, inbound landing.
We're 3 Yankee, Ann Arbor Tower ident. For 3 Yankee, ident observed. Traffic's just off your right wing, a Cherokee, altitude indicates 2,700. Do you have traffic in sight?
Traffic in sight, 3 Yankee.
Door 3 Yankee, roger. You'll be following that traffic inbound for the right base.
Follow that traffic inbound, right base, 3 Yankee.
Cherokee, I'm sorry, that was left base. Cherokee Yankee, following that traffic inbound for left base.
We'll actually get slowed up here, keep descending, and
Cherokee 13 uniform, traffic's off your left wing, has you in sight, altitude indicates
we'll go wings level.
We'll be following you inbound to the left.
We're going to follow that guy in.
Traffic in sight, 13 uniform.
We're number 2 right behind him. You see him there?
Yep.
Just kind of, we all get sequenced, you know, as we come in, and
That looks kind of like my dad's first plane, I don't know.
yeah, a little low wing, Piper Cherokee. Kind of silly that she put us behind him because we're faster, but we'll fly slower and let him in front.
It's kind of funny you asked. I'm in a hurry to get home. My in-laws were just backing in the driveway there, so I think I could handle coming home a little bit later.
Yeah, do you want to go home to the in-laws or do you want to go fly an airplane for a little bit?
I kid. My in-laws are great. They're awesome.
Now my girlfriend, her parents have a little cottage out in Brooklyn on, I can't think of the name of the lake, but, or river or whatever it is that runs through there. But, she goes, oh, do you want to go out there for the weekend? I said, yeah, sure. And she didn't.
Currently on Alpha.
They may,
on that traffic and received runway.
you know, might not be
California 12.
allowed for that, but night flying, I guess the only concern would be we'll turn a little bit to the right here and we'll just follow him right in behind him. He's not doing at all what he was told to do, but that's okay. He was supposed to proceed direct and he's, I don't know, just having too much fun. But if we're night flying, the position lights on the aircraft, just like on a boat, you have red and green. And so that's the only thing that you really have to pay attention to, because if you see a red light and maybe a beacon or something, you know, oh, that aircraft must be passing, you know, from right to left in front of me. Or if you see, you know, a red and green both, you go, okay, he's coming head on to me. And
Now, I'm not completely colorblind, but I do get the reds and greens and the blues and greens mixed up.
yeah,
That's why I was asking.
bluish, greenish.
Yeah.
Number 8 is India
I'll give you a little power here, and I'll full level right about 1800. We always fly into the airport 1,000 feet above the ground, and then start our descent when we're lined up for landing.
Calling on Tower Sagan.
Number 381 on the ramp for back taxi on Alpha. Set up for a 0.
I'll go ahead and take over the controls here and get us configured for landing. We'll give him some space and more than likely...
I'm sorry, I don't understand. What is your current position?
He doesn't know what he's doing.
I'm on
the trouble is if he lands and he doesn't come off the runway soon enough, then we have to go around and do another lap, and it's kind of inconvenient. So if you give him a little more space out here,
Cessna 381, Roger.
no matter what kind of dumb things he does when he gets on the ground, he'll be out of our way.
And Cessna 381, just for future reference, you don't need to say you want a back taxi. Just say that you want a taxi back to runway 6. You don't have to say back taxi.
Great one, sorry. Military carryover.
So the flaps, the first 10 degrees, extra lift. After that, the 20, 30, and 40, it's all like a lot of drag. And the reason is I can make a steeper approach without picking up extra airspeed.
Nice little houses down there.
Oh yeah, I looked at buying one on the golf course, thinking like, oh, it's by an airport, you know, airplanes flying over, it's annoying and loud. They must sell them real cheap. $750,000.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I'll come back in 20, 30 years when I got that kind of money.
You'd be paying somewhere around $6,000 property taxes as well.
Yeah, it's
or more.
not for me.
Turkey 13 uniform, no delay at the end, please. I have traffic on about a half-mile final.
13 uniform.
And Turkey 13 uniform, taxi northeast USV Alpha, this frequency.
Just take time.
Alpha, this frequency, 13 uniform.
Nice.
Those. 3 Yankee rolling to the end, going to Aviation Center.
381. Just get in front of 214 while he does his run up here. Is he on the go?
Yankee, Roger. Turn left at the end, taxi Aviation Center via Alpha, this frequency.
Left at the end, Aviation Center, staying with you. 3 Yankee.
Cessna 381, can you get around the airplane to get to the hold line?
Absolutely. He's far enough off on the run-up ramp. I'll have no problem passing him while he does his run-up.
In our tower, Sky 153 Yankee, ready for departure, runway 6, VFR over the stadium, then eastbound.
Cessna 1538 Yankee, Ann Arbor Tower, runway 6, cleared for takeoff, left turn on course approved.
Clear for takeoff, runway 6, left turn on course approved, 3 Yankee. So to compensate for the crosswind, I put my right aileron down a little bit so that wing doesn't get picked up. Fly power. I control direction with the rudder, so my toes at the very bottom. I slowly take out that aileron as it becomes more effective.
Solo field tracking
Just pull back a little bit, we climb away.
By taxiway Charlie Alpha. Cessna 7 Mike Papa, squawk VFR.
Switching to 1200 next. Mike Papa.
Cessna 0 Whiskey Echo, traffic 12 o'clock, 4 miles, type unknown, appears to be maneuvering, altitude indicates 2,100.
Looking for traffic, 0 Whiskey Echo.
So the flight school, how many people is it? Is it just you, or is it other?
I have another C5 that works with me, in case, if I get sick or, busy with whatever else. You know, he works with us part-time, so kind of pick up the slack there. Pretty much, you know, usually it's just me and just this aircraft. You know, as we get more people, we'll kind of expand a little bit. Trying to limit just this aircraft to 10 students at a time. We've got 6 students right now. Try to take on a few more. I won't take on more than 10, just because I don't want you to call me and say, hey, let's go fly this lesson. I say, oh, well, I'm booked out for like 2 weeks or something.
Right.
You know, I want you to call me and say, hey, let's go fly tomorrow or 2 to 3 days later and be like, okay, yeah, I got time.
So you own the plane?
Yep. It's registered to the flight school company, but a friend of mine and I started up the flight school. And
Oh, it sounds like you're doing well so far.
yeah, no, it's been going really well. We bought the plane in May, and you know, it took about a month, you know, of flying it around ourselves, making sure, you know, finding every little quirk about it. You know, replaced a lot of parts that were okay, but, you know, I'd rather it be 100%, you know, or 110% if possible, and that way you don't ever have to cancel a lesson due to maintenance or anything like that. When I was going through training, I had a bunch of my lessons canceled just because of the radios kept breaking. So we put, I mean, they're all old radios. We put new old radios in them.
Cessna 7 Mike Papa, frequency change approved. Good day.
And I was tower 381.
Yeah, the athletic facilities down there are pretty nice. They're redoing a lot of them.
North of the field and set up.
Field hockey there just got redone.
Went to landing 06.
Beckler Hall is absolutely beautiful now, walking through.
Cessna 381 Ann Arbor Tower, ident.
That's nice.
One is ident.
Cessna 381, ident observed 3 miles northwest of Ann Arbor Airport, enter right base. Correction, enter left base, runway 6. Traffic 12 o'clock, 2 miles. Cessna maneuvering, altitude indicates 2,300.
I will be searching for the traffic, 2,300.
And 3 Yankee, request for change over will run.
Cessna 38 Yankee, Willow Run TFR still in effect, say intentions.
3 Yankee, roger. I'd like to talk to them, see if they can fit us in to land Belleville.
Cessna 38 Yankee, frequency change approved.
Frequency change approved, 3 Yankee. Willow Run Tower, Skyhawk 1538 Yankee.
Skyhawk 1538 Yankee, Willow Run ground.
Willow Run Tower, 38 Yankee, 1 mile east of Ann Arbor Airport. Request landing Belleville.
38 Yankee, roger. Just remain outside the 3 mile ring for Belleville Airport. The wind at Willow Run is 160 at 6, altimeter 3007. There is an aircraft about a mile northeast of the Belleville Airport, northbound at 900 feet. He's part of the air show.
3 Yankee, roger. We'll make a south. We'll head south and cut in, you know, northbound into Belleville. We'll remain outside the 3 mile ring.
Roger. And are you going to land the north runway or south runway?
Read back those winds to me one more time.
Winds 130 at 8.
We'll be landing runway 15, so we'll come in, make it a tight approach for runway 15.
Copy. I'll let the air show boss know.
Appreciate it.
Roger. Air show boss, tower. Traffic just east of Ann Arbor is a Cessna landing Belleville Airport. Said he's going to land runway 15 with the winds. He's about 2 east of Ann Arbor now, inbound. Roger. 38 Yankee landing will be at your own risk. You're not in sight from the tower, runway, or correction, Belleville Airport. If you can, report landing assured.
3 Yankee, we'll go. So they've got like a 3-mile imaginary ring around the airport there. It's published as 5, but I got a special exemption to make it 3 for us operating out of Belleville for the weekend.
Oh, okay.
It was kind of neat. I had to go down to the Detroit Tower. Actually, I talked to them about it, and so while I was there having the meeting in the bottom of the tower, they said, "Oh, you want a tour?" And sure, hop in the elevator, go up 22 stories, and top the tower, and pretty neat.
That's cool. Like a corn maze down there.
Yeah. And they're pretty neat to see from there. You can always, we were taking the kids on the rowing team, kind of silly because they're college students, but apparently we create wow experiences for Michigan athletes is the department motto or whatever. So we took them to a corn maze. And the day before I flew over, took a picture, so I had a map.
Yeah.
And cheated. I was the first one to finish, go figure. They go, "What are you doing? You were playing on your cell phone the whole time." I was texting, I'm sorry. "You got through the corn maze first and you were texting?" I said, "Yeah, I don't know."
What are these gauges here?
Those are VORs, and so it's actually a navigational radio. I've got them both turned off right now, but if I were to turn that one on, the 14.3, so it'll tell us what radial we're on from it as it centers. And actually it takes time to warm up. It's so old school that it's actually got to be hot to work. It'll tell us to from, so we're on somewhere around here. We're probably... That was nice of them to let us know. Probably somewhere around the 180 radial, 180 radial. And so it gives you kind of like lines coming from the actual VOR station.
Oh, okay.
And so those form the highways in the sky, sort of. The old school way was to fly to these VOR stations, and you had, if you wanted to go here to there, you had to take like the zigzag route. Now with GPS, you can go direct.
Yep.
3 Yankee, there is traffic just south of Belleville Airport at 1,700 feet. You got him in sight?
Traffic in sight, 3 Yankee. Know where he's going?
Roger. An Airboss Tower. Yeah, the Cessna is about a mile southwest of Belleville Airport. He's got the traffic there just a mile south in sight.
Alrighty. 3 Yankee is landing short Belleville. We're entering a right downwind for runway 15.
3 Yankee, Roger, wind 1007, altimeter 3007.
Oh, there's another one. That guy will stay down low. This one will be a little bumpier than Ann Arbor.
I understand. Imagine so.